先是34号 Dragon Tech GP 的 Jack Hughes， 来自英国。第2位是同样是来自 Dragon Tech GP 的11号车手梁汉钊。第3位，他们的队友27号赛车 Raul Heyman。第4位 Absolute Racing Jaden Conrad。第5位同样是 Absolute Racing 的 Akash Nandi。第6位 Black Gas Racing 的 Luis Party。第7位，他的队友杜浩文。第8位来自 Amsport Asia Akash Gowda。第9位 SVC Racing Jeremy Mahomey。下一位是来自 Super License Tomoki Takahashi。再下一位是他的队友 Takashi Hata。下一位来自 B-Max Racing Dragon。下一位是 EMC2 Racing 车手刘泽轩。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to watch Race 9 of Formula 3 Asia Championship satisfied by FIA. Now we are reporting the last race at Shanghai International Circuit. At race 8 this morning, Jack Hughes from Dragon High-Tech GP team won the champion once more. Now he's back into the top 1 rank and we all looking forward to see his performance. Besides Tomoki Takahashi from Super License team keep giving us surprises. He made his progress step by step and he will start at the 5th position. Will he give us more surprise? The race 9 is about to start. Are you ready?
各位车迷朋友们，大家下午好，欢迎收看国际汽联亚洲3级方程式锦标赛上海站的现场直播。那么即将进行的是本周末的第3场，也就是赛季的第9回合正赛。在上午进行的第8回合比赛中呢 ，Dragon High-Tech GP 的英国车手 Jack Hughes 他是再次拿下了一场胜利，本周末已经取得了2连胜。他个人也如愿以偿的重返了车手积分榜的第1位。那么可以说是非常强势的表现。那么，同时呢，我们大家也可以关注一下来自 Super License 的7号车手 Tomoki Takahashi， 他本周末有着非常出色的比赛状态。第1场比赛他从第6位发车，第3位完赛；第2场比赛再接再厉，从第3位发车，第2位完赛。那么本场呢，他将从第5位发车，他也将争取个人本赛季首次连续3回合比赛以颁奖台席位完赛。那么结果如何呢？我们敬请关注他的表现。那么今天同时呢，我们也是很荣幸邀请到了我们亚洲 F3的官方合作伙伴株式会社 Dixel 有限公司社长景田雅彦先生，我们请他为我们介绍一下 Dixel 专门为我们亚洲 F3打造的产品。So Ida-san, we know that race cars, especially Formula cars, will have a high standard requirements on all the parts like brake pads. So could you introduce us the product that Dixon made for Asia Formula 3, which meets all the requirements and the challenges?
Yes. So we made the brake pad with the focus on the one wall and stable. Yes, because any driver is a different circuit, different is the situation, but any corner, same braking point, same is stable, as a tire is different. But the brake pad is stable and reliable. It's only focus on this such a kind of a mailing. Thank you.
Thank you, 伊大桑。谢谢，我们把话筒交还给主持人。
So now you are continuing leading the race, and this is the last race at the Shanghai International Circuit. What kind of strategy you are going to take?
Same as the other two races. Try and keep the lead into turn one, and yeah, hopefully use the pace of our car to make a gap. So we'll see someone different starting alongside me in P2. So yeah, we'll see how the start goes in the first lap, and then push on.
Okay, glad to see you back to the second position, and you are going to compete with Jack Hughes. So what kind of strategy you're gonna take?
Just focus on the start and then see from there. You can't really have too much of a plan going into it, so we'll just focus on what we can change and then just see what happens from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 您现在是在我们的第3位发车，而且上海赛道也是一个您家乡的赛道，你也是非常熟悉的，对吗？那您对我们这场最后一场比赛有信心吗？
有信心，争取做得最好。
对我们这个赛道再说一
说。我觉得这条赛道是一条，很多程度上很复杂，但同时又是很有挑战性的一条赛道。
好，谢谢。
谢谢。
Thank you. So this morning, maybe some drama happens to you, but now you are at the 4th position. You still have a chance to catch up with your teammate. And what kind of strategy you're going to take?
Yeah, this morning I had a mechanical problem. The car, it was a gearbox problem, so the car just went into neutral and wouldn't shift back up into first. So that was unfortunate because the second place was looking pretty certain, and I was pulling a gap to those behind. So this race we need to recover some points, recover some positions. I feel pretty good in the car, and I'm pretty sure that we can go forward. So my starts have been quite good, so let's see what we can do. The plan is just to go forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Shanghai International Circuit for what will be the 9th race of the 2018 F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA. Brand new championship for this year, and has so far delivered some very, very interesting racing. Part of the development program by the FIA through as a channel to obviously Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3. Formula 4 also existing in different areas of the world, but for Formula 3 this is a big one, it's important. Here's the qualifying order after qualifying 2 yesterday. Jake Hughes makes it a trifecta of pole position starts for this weekend. He had it for Q1, he set the fastest lap in race 1. to start race 2 from pole position. He has it again for race 3.
第3回合的较量。
Jaden Conwright will start alongside the winner of race 6 of the championship back at Ningbo. James Yu, we saw him there in the helmet colours of Ayrton Senna. He will start from position 3. Raoul Hyman, who started both races 1 and 2 this weekend from the front row of the grid, back in 4th position. He had a tough run earlier today in the second race, the 8th race of the season. We'll get to that shortly. Tomoki Takahashi, he did such a brilliant job to finish race 2 this morning in position 2, and position 3 was the man on screen, the number 11 entry of Charles Leong, who will start alongside him on the 3rd row. Louis Pret from position 7. Haitao Yin in position number 8. Akash Nandi back in position 9. Not accustomed to seeing him quite that far back, the absolute racing driver from Malaysia. Akash Gowda, who had disappointment yesterday in the opening race here at Shanghai International Circuit, was unable to get away at the start. There is Akash Nandi on screen. Gowda, unfortunately, was unable to take part in that race. Takashi Hata, the second of the super licensed drivers, he will start from position 11. He suffered a bit of drama during the opening race here as well. Zhujian Liu, he has been scouting around in the tail end of the top 10, will start from position number 12. Jeremy Wahomey had a dire start earlier today, was in position 8 and ultimately came into contact with one of his rivals, and that broke the front wing on the car. He was forced back down pit lane. Here is, well, this is actually the starting order for race number 9. Jake Hughes, Jaden Conwright front row, James Yu and Raoul Hyman on the 2nd. Rounding up the 14-car field is Dragon in the B-Max Racing Team entry. All drivers driving identical Tartus 318 and powered by the very same Alfa Romeo 1750 TBI turbo engine, 1742 cc's, turbocharged, 270 horsepower. A number of the teams think, well, perhaps it's probably a little underpowered, but this is, well, it's really the first foray by the FIA for the Formula 3 Championship to adopt the global vision for the Formula with a single chassis, single engine rule, obviously a single tyre, it's control tyre, one make tyre. And they have gone for the Tartus, the Alfa Romeo engine, and the Control GT Compete GTR1 tyre. Slightly harder compound, but as an overall package, it has worked famously. All eyes around the world are on this. This is the first of the new generation F3 championships certified by the FIA. And there are teams and drivers and certainly manufacturers all over the world keeping very close tabs on how this championship evolves. America has also introduced similar rulings, and this will become a true global formula again next year, and will have big implications for the development of motorsport around the world. Of course, one of the logical stepping stones beyond go-karts. Lights have gone green, and they are underway for the roll-around lap. Get some temperature into the engine, and more importantly, get some temperature into those Control GT Compete GTR1 tyres. You'll see a lot of ducking and weaving as drivers throw the car around. It's a car that hasn't managed to get off the grid. That looks like one of the Zen Motorsport entries. I wonder if I could pick that up. That's the number 3 entry. That's not a great start for Haitao Yin. He's been quite good this weekend. A couple of entries from Zen Motorsport. Of course, the other one, James Yu, will be starting further forward in this field. And that's not good for Haitao. That looks like they're going to put the car away, give the team a chance to work on it. He'll be starting from pit lane if they can get it fired up. A similar thing to which Akash Gowda faced during race number 1 here, or race number 7 of the championship this year during the opening 25-minute stanza yesterday. There's car 80 on screen. That, of course, is fellow front row starter Jaden Conwright, who won the 3rd of 3 25-minute races at Ningbo last time out. That was 3 weeks ago. Championship, of course, began earlier in the year, middle of July at Sepang International Circuit, another Formula 1 venue. It will finish at Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia on the 23rd to the 25th of November. We're here at Shanghai International Circuit, the other venue, Ningbo Speed Park. We were there 3 weeks ago. In fact, we will be there there in 3 weeks' time. Once more for the 4th event of the season for rounds 10, 11 and 12. Finish back in Malaysia later in the year. Has been a great addition to the Asian motorsport landscape. There have been a number of development formula, certainly an open wheel category, in Asia over recent years. Some of those have faded away. Formula BMW certainly had a great foundation many years ago and delivered a number of drivers around the world into the higher formula. One of the most notable being Daniel Ricciardo from Australia. Graduated through the Asian formula and ultimately wound up in F1. A young New Zealander by the name of Earl Bamber was another to graduate through this kind of process in Asia. Of course, he went on to be a 2-time Le Mans champion for Porsche. This weekend, it is all about a new beginning for Formula 3 here at Shanghai International Circuit. This is the last race of the weekend. Blancpain GT Series Asia, Formula 4 amongst the other support acts this weekend. But great to see this big crowd still in attendance to watch the next generation of young stars in Asia and worldwide. Certainly drivers like Jake Hughes, Jaden Conroy, Louis Pret have a good grounding in competition in other areas of the world. Jeremy Wahome, another one who is going to develop in time, the young English-based Kenyan driver. We are ready. We'll see the green flag grow across Rearfield once it is given. The lights will go on. Once the lights are out, we will be underway. 25 minutes, the race journey. The opening race of the weekend saw a couple of safety car interventions and a false start. This time around, let's hope they get through on that long run down to turn 1. We're underway. Conroy on left of screen. The man who has dominated every start he has had in this championship this year, Jake Hughes, leads away and he will go down to turn 1. Somebody going up the inside of it. Looks like James Hugh had a tough start. He's back in about 7th position by the look of that. So he really has lost out. And Raoul Hyman from the 2nd row jumps into position behind his teammate. So that is the 2 High-Tech Dragon GP cars, 1 and 2. Further back, that looks like Charles Leong might be up to position number 4 and onto the tail of Jaden Conroy. Let's see as we go down to turn 6 under brakes. Conroy has a look, pulls out of it. It's too early in the race to be doing that sort of thing. Certainly don't want to make contact. We've seen the result of contact with the fronts of these cars, or any open wheel car like that. Certainly whether it's Formula 1 or any car, doesn't matter what it is, you don't want to be making contact at any level. An open wheel car does not end up going too well. Good battle further back in the pack. No denying the man at the front of the field, Jake Hughes, is comfortably driving away from the field already. On board with Charles Leong. He is holding a position further back. In fact, he started this race, we go back to my qualifying order, on the 3rd row. Looks like probably holding station further back. Smoky Takahashi, that's him in the white and red car, behind Jaden Conroy, 4th position. He started this race from position number 5, so he has worked his way forward. A bit of drafting on the long back straight here at Shanghai International Circuit. Good opportunity to make up position, pull out of the draft under brakes. Takahashi's thinking about that. Conroy's got it covered. He comes back up the inside. A great move. But has he gone in too deep? Yes, he has. Out onto the AstroTurf. Not only is he going to lose 1 position back to Conroy, he's also going to drop a position. Is that Charles Leong in position number 4? It looks like it may well be. Let's take a look at how the opening lap played out. That was the Macanese flag on the front of the 4th place car. So Charles Leong up to position 4. Takahashi now under fire. Louis Pret, great start up the inside of Akash Nandi. The Black Arts Racing entry. Need to give each other some racing room. Again, you don't want to bang wheels with these cars because that can have some pretty big implications. James Hugh, unfortunately, started from position 3, now back in position number 8. He's lost wholesale ground. Oh, just a bit of contact between Akash Nandi and James Hugh. Could have taken the front wing end plate off. Nandi's being very aggressive off the start. And Takahashi, 2nd earlier. He is under attack from the Malaysian driver for Absolute Racing. Jaden Conroy, position number 3. Charles Leong, position number 4. Smoky Takahashi for Super License. There he is leading that pack. Car 7 ahead of the 29 entry of Akash Nandi. Louis Pret Crossed the line in position number 6, but he's back behind Nandy now in the number 5 entry. In fact, that's James Yu. Pratt is shown in position 6 on the monitor. I'm just trying to pick up the car. He in fact got ahead of Takahashi, didn't he? So he's further up the field. There he is, just in the bottom of the screen there. So Louis Pratt for Black Arts Racing, the number 3 entry, is ahead of this pack. He is in position number 5 rather. The timing monitor is only updating by sectors. You'll see that change very shortly. It's going to update at the end of each lap. That makes things a little bit more challenging as you pick up the car liveries and car numbers, but no denying who is leading this race. Fastest first sector, fastest second sector, carbon copy of race 1 this weekend and race 2. Car number 34, young Jake Hughes, the Englishman. Great job by him. Raoul Hyman. Now he was in this position in race 2 this morning, holding station a couple of seconds back from his teammate, and all of a sudden he disappeared from the timing monitors. He ended up crossing the line. Leaves in position number 8. I'll just confirm that. Yes, crossed the line in position 8 after dropping back as far as 10th. He unfortunately had the car run into neutral at some point as he was downshifting. Had to roll the car to a stop, reset the systems and get it going again. After that, his pace was second fastest on track as it is right now to his teammate Jake Hughes. No oversteer as he comes through turn 3. But he showed no drop in pace after that, so it's just an issue with the car having gone into neutral. So that dropped him right down the order. Sadly, as a result of that, Jake Hughes provisionally has jumped to the championship points lead. Locked wheel by Raoul Hyman going down to turn 6. But as things stand at the end of race 8 of this season, Jake Hughes, despite missing the entire Ningbo round, sits on 125 points. Raoul Hyman on 120 points. Remember, this is provisionally, and Jaden Conrad, who came into this round second on points, just 13 back from Hyman, is now on 103 points, 22 back from Jake Hughes. So Jake Hughes wasn't around last time out. Ben Hingley subbing for him. Certainly the high-tech Dragon GP team, ably supported by a very solid high-tech crew from the UK. Well-versed in running these cars since the early 2000s, have been running a lot of the development open-wheel formula around the world, certainly in Europe and the UK. So it was no surprise that as an operation they've come out to this part of the world for the debut season of the F3 Asian Championship and delivered strongly. And again, that's happening this weekend. They are well clear in the championship points for the teams. And now 1-2 again in the Drivers' Championship. Was Raoul Hyman 1 and Jake Hughes 2 coming into this round, or coming into, this morning. It's now Jake Hughes 1, Raoul Hyman 2. Jaden Conrad 4, Absolute Racing in position number 3. Crossing the line, 2:05.146. Like clockwork. Jake Hughes is just continuing to punch out fast laps, as he did in race 1 and race 2 this weekend. Raoul Hyman is running tail gunner. 2:05.731. He's 1.8 seconds back from his teammate. A carbon copy of what has happened in the opening 2 races. Hyman admitting he's learning a lot, both from the data of Jake Hughes, but also by watching his teammate on track. See a little bit of oversteer there. Jaden Conrad working fairly hard at the wheel. Probably didn't quite get the exit of turn 4 quite right. Ran onto the ripple on the exit there, probably a little early. So still trying to find his legs. As we say, he was the winner of race 6 of this season, the 3rd and final race at Ningbo last time out. Now, weather conditions have cooled off significantly over what we've seen over the last couple of days, a lot cooler than it was yesterday. So whether that has an impact on setup, certainly an experienced team like High Tech and Absolute Racing, they will be able to assess that and adjust the car accordingly. But it will be a consideration for teams. Conditions for the drivers will be a little bit nicer. The air quality this morning was a little different, a lot of moisture in the air too. Very humid, certainly yesterday was very humid. But as the days have worn on, they've cleared out nicely. Now I'm hearing a car come down pit lane. I am, and that's gone into retirement. So the number 3 entry, unfortunately, of Haitao Yin is into retirement. So it appears, yes, he's going out the back. He's not, in fact, even going down to pit lane, down to his crew. So unfortunately for him, he will be the first retirement of this race. 15 cars in, 14 still circulating. Jake Hughes leading now by 1.8 seconds. We are on the 4th lap of this race. You can see the clock ticking. Just under 17 minutes to go. 25-minute race length, should be about 13 laps. Earlier we got through 12. Race 1 yesterday, we only got 10, but we had a number of safety car laps for cars that had stopped. They've been quite gentlemanly, the young drivers, so far this year. Some good, hard racing. Talking about hard racing, Akash Nandi had been racing quite hard at the start. Where is he on this list? He has dropped back down the order, just crossing the line now in position number 8. So James Yu, the silver with the yellow, just going through the bottom of the screen. Akash Nandi behind him. Good result for Akash Gowda. He has just moved up. And Takashi Hata is up to position number 10. That is the number 8 entry of Jeremy Wahome, who we saw unfortunately have to pull out of the race this morning. He spent much of the race standing in pit lane watching the monitors, studying the moves of his rivals, not the place he wanted to be. But good result too for Takashi Hata. Good to see some great support for the super licensed team down in pit lane. Before the start of this race, there is their lead driver this weekend. It's the number 20. I was going to say it was not the. It looked like it was white. That caught me out completely. The white and red livery. It was the direction of the light. That was, of course, the 27 entry of Raoul Hyman ahead of Jaden Conrad. Tomoki Takahashi is in position number 6. So Louis Pret has managed to move forward. There he is on screen. He's behind Charles Leong. Macanese flag on the nose cone of the number 11 entry. Podium finish in race 2 this morning, 4th yesterday, and currently carrying on in 4th place today. He took advantage of the unfortunate retirement of teammate Royal Hum. Sorry, it wasn't a retirement. The unfortunate setback when the car went into neutral and he lost a whole bunch of positions. Dropped back to the tail of the top 10, despite being 2nd when that had happened. So certainly Charles Leong did take advantage of that and was able to move himself forward onto the podium. Been consistently just off the tail of the top 3 as he is right now. But Louis Pret, who hasn't had the greatest of weekends so far, is making amends for that and charging through very wide on the exit of turn 16. And the number 4 entry for Black Arts Racing is trying to get through and go after Jaden Conrad and a podium finish. So I think Louis Pret wasn't at the most recent round. Just need to double check that. Yes, he was. Carded 6-2, 6-0, 6-4 so far as points are concerned. So for the Italian driver, this is a good run so far. Of course, based in Hong Kong, under a Hong Kong licence. He is doing a good job. So this will be his strongest finish so far of the year. Takes a look at Charles Leong on the run down to turn 6. It's not going to go through there. Nice job by the High-Tech Dragon GP entry, the number 11, ahead of the Black Arts number 4, not the traditional Black Arts colour. Of course, that is black and red. We've seen that team operate in the Asian region, certainly around China. Very big on the development of young driving talent. Bill O'Brien and his team have been very supportive of a number of young drivers, so no great surprise to see them in this championship in its formative year. As we go through, well, we're at the midpoint of the season. There are 15 races. We have 8 now in the bank. This will be race number 9 of the 2018 season, the inaugural season of the F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA. 3 weeks' time, back to Ningbo. 3 weeks ago, we were in Ningbo. That was some very interesting racing. We close out the season back at Sepang in Malaysia. It's a good battle. James Yu, car number 5, silver and yellow, closing in on the tail. Well, he's just picked good battle. He's been taken by Akash Nandi by the look of that. Looks like the 29's managed to get through. So James Yu started on the 2nd row, qualified position 3. Has dropped back a little bit further than he would have liked because Takahashi is behind this battle between Charles Leong and Louis Pret. And it looks like Akash Nandi will have taken over position number 7. So whatever drama potentially the young Malaysian driver had, very experienced in this region, certainly in GT cars. Usually a super sub. Has jumped into all manner of equipment over the years, but has a strong grounding too in open wheelers. So on deployed with Charles Leong as he goes through turn 3. See, it's quite bumpy. Eyes forward. You'll have his peripheral vision focusing on both those mirrors. He's also mindful that as you're protecting your race line, you're losing pace to the drivers in front. Currently though, you can see it on screen, there is Hyman. This is Jaden Conroy. It's Charles Leong on screen now. It's Louis Pret right behind him. It's only a few tenths. He's 1.8 seconds back from Jaden Conroy. So he'll be trying to break down that gap and move himself forward to try and make it a trio of high-tech Dragon GP cars in the field. So Akash Nandi has in fact moved to position 7, James Yu position 8. Akash Gowda, so to see him starting to work his way forward, is in position number 9. Takashi Hata is in position number 10. Yu in 11, Wahomey 12, Dragon 13, Thomas Leuni back in 14 in the number 9 entry for Black Arts Racing. Just over 10 minutes to go, 7 laps in the books. More than halfway, in fact we're 3/5 of the way into this race. Just as he had done in Malaysia, just as he'd done in the first 2 races this weekend, Jake Hughes is continuing to run away at the front of the field. Teams watching their drivers. Great to have this live coverage and to be able to watch what's going on. Certainly the drivers do a lot of research, both technical data and with the television monitor and the footage from the onboard cameras to be able to determine the best way forward. There is Liu, the number 6 entry. Chichuan Liu. Car prepared by Absolute Racing, running under the EMC Squared Racing operation. Looks like that's Jeremy Wahomey further back, the number 8 entry. I was just looking at the car with the yellow tips. Of course, similar style to James Yu. The front of these cars, they don't make a big footprint, so trying to pick up some colour or some indication as to which one of the team cars it is quite difficult, especially with the 27 and the 34 that's leading the race. Those cars, except for number, race number, obviously helmet colour, which is very hard to see behind the new safety halo. It's a little bit difficult to pick them up. They look quite similar. So apologies for any error on that regard. It's a slightly different style to Charles Leong's car, and he has that big Macanese flag just immediately in front of the cockpit above the number 11. And mirrors absolutely full. Louis Pret will be hoping to make up for the disappointment of race 1 yesterday. Certainly doing a much better job, well prepared by the Black Arts Racing team. See just how big the advantage Jake Hughes has now, 3.4 seconds over Hyman. Hyman has a 5.6 second advantage over Conroy. Leong 2 seconds back now, and let's not count about the distance between the number 11 and the number 4 on screen. Louis Pret, the second of those cars. It is, well, as we used to say, you can throw a tally-ho paper over them. That won't make much sense to most people. A sheet of A4 copy paper would probably go as far. Wide on the exit, you need to be very careful of the AstroTurf on the exit of some of the corners here at Shanghai International Circuit. Very notorious down at turn 10. The fast left-hander, even this weekend it has thrown cars into the wall. Claimed a couple of victims during a GT championship here recently. Very wide, Charles Leong. Coming through turn 1, whether he's trying a different race line to try and cut through 2 and 3 more quickly. Certainly that allowed Louis Pret to close the gap. You see the slightly different livery on the side of Charles Leong's high-tech Dragon GP F3. Italian-built chassis, Italian-built engine down the inside. Looked very closely there for a move. Louis Pret that wasn't on. Again, you don't want to be touching any of the corners of these cars. From wing end plates to suspension arms. These are solid race cars, let's be fair. They hit curves and things fairly hard. Running at high downforce, there's lots of load bearing on these wings and suspension arms. But at the end of the day, you start banging wheels, they can be quite fragile in that regard, and that can have a big effect on the performance, especially on an F1 circuit like this, which is designed to separate the men from the boys, as they would say, the women from the girls. It is very much about the ability to drive at speed and use the aero. These are very aerodynamic cars, just under 600 kilograms. Of course, that's empty. It's without driver. So a very lightweight vehicle, very reliant on aerodynamics, that big front wing, quite big rear wing. The shape of the car is designed all about downforce, ability to carry speed through the corners. What does Louis Pret have? Nothing. Very, very close to the gearbox, the rear of the car. The crash structures. Quite a hefty chassis, the TARDIS chassis, but it's all about safety. Very big side intrusion, front and rear intrusion, crash boxes to protect the driver. The new Halo that has not had great popularity amongst Formula One fans this year, but so far as safety is concerned, you can see it there as a cage above the driver. It's had a big impact. Oh, again gone very wide, Charles Leong, offering a sense of opportunity to Louis Pret. Talked about a little bit earlier in the program. It's another car coming down pit lane, is there? Yeah, there is. That's unfortunately, that may well be Jeremy Wahome. No, it's not. It's James Yu. It looked like a silver and yellow car. Just see the top of it as it went past my commentary position. And yep, that's not good. Started from the second row, qualified third. Came into this round. I'll just check the championship points. Further back in the order, he was 8th. This will have a big impact on his championship position, but it's about learning. Certainly qualifying third was a good start. Got swamped a little bit at the start. 2 drivers on screen. Certainly had a big impact at the beginning, as did the man who started from alongside Jake Hughes, Jaden Conroy, just going through his screen. Charles Leong's got a bit of a gap now, it seems, over Louis Pret. Dragon shown as behind James Yu. It's unusual. He may have had some level of trauma, but that, of course, we're just talking about the refreshing screen. So the timing monitor will no doubt show Dragon's moved up to position number 12 at the end of this lap. Jeremy Wahome in position 11. Jean Liu, number 6, entries position 10. Takashi Hata is in position 9. Akash Gowda position 8. And Akash Nandi in position number 7. He is a good 2.5 seconds down on Tomoki Takahashi. Jake Hughes, well, here we go. He's at it again. 2:04.9, fastest lap of the race on lap number 10. If you don't mind, just to highlight how versatile and consistent the Compete GTR1 tyre is. Takash Nandi on screen. There is Tomoki Takahashi, who was on the podium. Finished second in race 8 earlier today. Further back in the pack, that is the second of the super license entries of Takashi Hata. Now, does he drop back a little bit? Just looking at the monitor as he came through the screen, it looked like he may well have dropped back a little. In fact, that may well have been Louis Pret and Takahashi. So excuse me on that potential error. The car on screen, Thomas Liudi. That's the B-Max entry, so that's Dragon. So this is position 12 in this race. Black Arts Racing, traditional colour scheme on Thomas Liudi's car. That is the black and the red. Of course, the B-Max entry invariably is the bright yellow. As the battle goes on for position number 4, Charles Leong carrying on in that position. His teammates Jake Hughes and Raoul Hyman, positions number 1 and 2. 2.5 minutes left in this race. You would expect that Jake Hughes will see the last lap board as he comes across the line this time. This will give him an extension in his championship points lead. It would be the perfect 6 from 6. Started from pole position in all 6 races he has entered so far this year. And short of me giving him the commentator's curse, This would be the last lap board, I would expect, with less than 2 minutes on the clock. There's the unfortunate sign of James Hughes' car being pushed away. So he will be a retirement. Sadly, alongside Hightower Yin. Raoul Hyman 6.5 seconds back from the race leader. 2:05.1 last time from Jake Hughes, still punching out one fast lap after another. Hyman 2:06.0, so almost a second dropped last time around. Jaden Conroy 2:06.1, 2:06.2 for Charles Leong. Louis Pret 2:06.2. Takahashi 2:06.4. There it is, last lap. Akash Nandi position 7, 2:06.1. So his pace is still pretty good. But nobody can do anything about Jake Hughes, who is just, you can see just how fast he is at the moment. He's pushing very, very hard, working that wheel very, very hard. See, just making minor adjustments to the direction of the car, just balancing on a knife edge, and that is the big advantage of a driver with the experience of Jake Hughes. He can bring to the equation, of course, does a lot of laps in Europe now. What does Louis Pret have for Charles Leong? He'll be very keen to get his best result of the year and make a dive at some point. He's got an opportunity down here at turn 11, another one down at turn 14. Charles Leong knows all about that. The crossover. No, he's not going to do it. He's not going to pull the car up. The last thing I'm sure that Louis Pret will want to do is drive into the side of Charles Leong, giving each other racing room. This is great racing. Down to turn 14 for the last time. Jake Hughes has got it in the bag. Raoul Hyman, short of having another issue with the car going into neutral, looks to have wrapped up second for the second time this weekend. Jaden Conroy, well, he looks to well and truly have third position covered. And the battle is between Charles Leong and Louis Pret. So the race winner is going to be Jake Hughes. Second across the line to Raoul Hyman. Good result for him. Another strong haul of points. Fortunately, that drama earlier today took him out of the championship points lead. There's not much he's been able to do about Jake Hughes. Well, Louis Pret got out of the throttle in the end and just elected to let Charles Leong take the position. There is Tomoki Takahashi. Unfortunately for him, unable to convert that second position from race 8 earlier today, and Akash Nandi across the line in position number 7. This is further back in the field. This is Dragon versus Thomas Ludi. Comes down to the final 3 corners through turn 14. The BMAX Racing boss comes out of the corner. Well, no, sorry, that is Jake Hughes. Well, I can see it in front of me. I'll tell you what's happening. Here comes Dragon through turn 16 on the exit, receives the checkered flag, and he will cross the line in position 12. Thomas Ludi across the line in position number 13. So there you have it. The perfect score, the ideal scorecard for High-Tech Dragon GP's Jake Hughes. 6 from 6. He extends his championship points lead. He took that lead over from Raoul Hyman in race 8 earlier today and has extended that advantage to go into Ningbo in 3 weeks' time. Hyman across the line second. Jaden Conroy back on the podium after his victory in race 6 at Ningbo. Charles Leong, position number 4, and another solid haul of championship points. In fact, coming into this round, it's likely that Charles Leong, not quite, but by virtue of his 4th place, he will leap above Akash Nandi provisionally into 4th position in this championship. Jaden Conroy still hanging on to position number 3 after his 3rd place finish. Tomoki Takahashi, good solid haul of points this weekend for the super licensed driver. Ryu Nagara, the former Formula 1 test driver from Japan, down there keeping tabs on the super licensed team and giving those young drivers a lot of support. Of course, Takahashi and Takashi Hata, who finishes in position 9. Nandi across the line, position 7. Akash Gowda, after the disappointment of yesterday and being unable to start, finishes in position number 8. Hata, position 9. Zhixuan Liu in position 10. Jeremy Wahomey, position 11. Dragon across the line in that great battle over the closing stages with Thomas Ludi. So that's all from us. Keep up to date with everything that's going on, of course, with www.f3asia.com and the many and varied social media platforms in both English and Chinese. Make sure you join us in 3 weeks' time. Program is not over yet. We'll get some interviews and, of course, the podiums as we speak to the young stars of the 2018 F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA.
Congratulations, 3 times champion here. It's an amazing job. And what do you feel right now?
Yeah, really happy. My second triple win of the year with Malaysia and Shanghai. So yeah, couldn't do a better job. The team were mega all weekend. Really enjoyed my experience here in Shanghai with Asian FIA again. So yeah, taking a lot of confidence now for my season back in Europe, and yeah, just try and keep this going in Ningbo as well.
And also you now locked the top 1 rank, and for the next season, what you're gonna do? What's your plan?
For Ningbo, or?
Yeah.
Well, I try and do the same. I've won every race I've competed in so far, so I'd like to keep that run going.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So congratulations, you started at the 4th position, but you end up the 2nd position. You really made it. How did you do that?
I told you I was going to move forward. So yeah, I mean, it was a really good start. I've been working on it all year, and I'm glad it finally paid off and came together. Made 2 positions immediately, and then the race from there on was pretty straightforward. A bit of a big gap at the end, so pretty boring, to be honest. Yeah, I did everything I could basically with my driving, and just didn't really have much of an answer, to be honest. So lot to look at, lot to work on. I think a few good things of the weekend were we had really good pace, all 3 cars. It's a bit of a shame to have lost the podium in the last race because I had a gear shift problem. The car just went into neutral and I had no drive, so that was, I mean, I'd say it was pretty certain that I was going to finish 2nd, but obviously missed out on that. So happy to be back on the podium. Thank you.
I'm glad to see you back on the podium. And what do you feel right now?
I feel quite good. I made a small mistake on the start, but we had a good recovery and we were able to still hold 3rd position and get another podium. So good points, good finish. Right.
And for the next Ningbo station, what's your plan?
Hopefully have the same pace that we had at the last round at Ningbo, but we never know. It'll be a completely different weekend from the previous one, so we just have to keep our heads down and keep working hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
いやー、3半時間が強くなるんだよ。それもウェイパーないっすよね。ありえないっすよ。全然スピードが全然自分のイメージ通りに全く運転できないですよ。全部切れるし、反応に。ここより1000番の方がきついよ。そうですね。心が楽ですね。ハンドル巻いてますよね。いろいろちょっと太くして、なんか滑っちゃうんで、ちょっとバンテージを結構少しなくなりました、昨日は。おっちゃんには辛いです。ちょっと場所変えちゃうぐらい。こうやって外れちゃう。
跟击球跟腿射吗？
为国家队胜利做出贡献。然后还有第4名的
Have you planned?
Not yet. Been kind enough to book me business though, so.
Oh yes.
Second time in my life.
What airline?
Aeroflot, Russian.
Oh well.
I've got to go to Sochi. What, have you been? Is it bad or something? It doesn't fill me with confidence.
It's got better, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah?
We just lifted the ban in Europe.
Yeah, I think so.
Have fun.
Yeah, looks like it.
I wouldn't eat anything.
It's got to be safer than here. Food.
Well, hopefully in business you'll have caviar if it's a Russian airline.
I've never tried it.
Never had caviar?
Don't like fish really, so.
Oh, well, you won't like it.
He's also sponsored by McDonald's, Chinese McDonald's. Didn't realise. Charles is not alone.
Yeah. Where did Charles finish?
Jaden, was Charles behind you?
Yeah, I think he's one.
Okay.
There was contact. Yeah, there was some front wing part. And then
Yeah, I saw that.
What happened with Charles?
Of inside of Tomoki. Who tried on the inside?
Lewis.
Ah, okay.
Zen. You know the guy.
Yeah.
Zen, the yellow car.
No, but Lewis isn't Lewis Black Arts?
Yeah, Black Arts.
Well, all right, we'll start with the press conference.
Right.
First of all, welcome to the press conference of the race 9 of the Formula 3 Asian Championship. Congratulations to the podium finishers. First of all, to you, Jake. I was noticing you had the fastest lap on the penultimate lap. Was the car getting better towards the end, or had you been saving tires, or?
A bit of both, to be honest. I used the same set of tyres in race 1 and race 2, so it meant I had a complete fresh set from the Q2 wet qualifying, so my tyres were pretty good. And I think we under pressured them a little bit, so in the early laps I wasn't as quick or as comfortable at least at the end, so I think that explains your question, why, or answers your question why I was quicker at the end. Yeah, but Dragon High-Tech GP car has always been rapid every time I've been in it this year. So yeah, big thanks to the team, really enjoyed it this weekend. Yeah, looking forward to Ningbo.
All right, good. I mean, looking forward to Ningbo. What is your expectation, knowing that Absolute was pretty quick there? Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, it'd be good to be drive a new track again. I enjoyed learning new experiences. Yeah, I kept an eye when I was in Monza for GP3. I kept an eye on the results, obviously, and yeah, I could see Jaden and Absolute were quite quick. Raul and Ben, who was in my car, won races as well. So looked like quite a difficult track to learn from the outside, and as the guys have already had a bit of experience there, hopefully in practice it'll be enough for me to get up to speed.
Okay, good, thanks. Raul, you had a lightning start. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, it was quite good. It was quite funny actually. I pulled up on the grid and the buy point on the clutch moved. So as I pulled up, I didn't really know what I was going to be doing because I didn't know where the buy point was. So I thought to myself, this is going to be a bad start, and then I said out loud, actually no, let's not say that, and it turned out pretty well. So yeah, that was good. Made the race pretty straightforward from my side, getting past Jaden and I'm not too sure who was second, to be honest with you, but no, Jaden was second. Who was third then? But I got past both of them before we even turned into turn 1, so I was pretty happy with that. And then from there, just tried to get my head down, see if I could close the gap to Jake. Obviously not. Yeah, I've struggled with the car this weekend and struggled just to get the maximum out of it as Jake has. So lots of work to be done. and we'll see next time out at Ningbo. I think being back on the podium for this last race was welcome, because obviously with the gear shift issues or the gearbox issue in the second race, that wasn't ideal.
Okay, thank you. Jaden, not a great start, and after that quite a lonely race. But with your great performance in Ningbo, what is your expectations for the next race? And anything you want to say about this race as well?
Yeah, definitely. I just made a small mistake on the start. I thought I had like a good launch, and then kind of botched at the end of the clutch release. So then Raul got a lightning start and got by me, and then from there just kind of working on defending. So I did mess up the start, but I'm quite happy that I was able to at least hold third position. Definitely all weekend I've been having a little bit of issues with the car, just like myself, just kind of getting my head around things. So to put everything together and slowly move forward from where we were in Q1 till where we finished in race 3 is quite good. Ningbo, it's hard to say. Definitely looking up, we had quite a lot of good pace at the last round at Ningbo, but we can't assume that we're going to be there again, because obviously the Dragon high-tech cars were extremely quick towards the end of the weekend. So just a lot of hard work, digging through the data, just doing what we can, what I can, just everything, just to keep everything like together and hopefully have the same pace that we had the first weekend.
All right, looking forward to a great weekend in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions? All right, thank you very much. We'll do a group photo.
Thank you.
Where's the lunch?
Thank you.
Right, congratulations to the winners of the Masters Cup. Welcome to the press conference. First question for Hata. Congratulations on the win. It was a very hardly fought race. You had Ryan chasing you all the way for the whole race. How did you drive during the race? Were you watching your mirrors or were you just minding your own business?
まず優勝おめでとうございます。ずっとレース後ろにライアンだっけ名前後ろにずっとついてて、どうでしたかとミラーを見ながら走ってましたか、それとも前を集中してひたすら走ってましたか。
前を見ながら走ってるんですけど、やっぱ後ろの赤い車すごい目立つんで、すぐ視界に入ってくるし、2コーナーあたりには相当近づいてくるので、相当プレッシャーでした。
Yeah, the red car, you can see a lot in the mirror, especially the red car. It's very easy. So he had a mind on, like a second corner, second turn. He can see in his mirror all the time, but he managed to concentrate and then finish the race.
Okay, thank you. Ryan, as you also congratulations. As we mentioned, you were putting him under a lot of pressure. Were you trying to force him into a mistake, or what was your strategy?
I think I didn't control the pace so good because I was too easy in the middle stint of the race. But when I realized there's only 2 laps, and I started pushing a little bit, so I think I could have done better. So just a lesson learned.
Okay, see you in Ningbo in 2 weeks. Dragon, congratulations. finally on the podium again. Question, you also drive Formula 3 in Japan, and what would you say is the biggest difference between the old spec F3 car and the new spec with the halo?
お疲れ様です。全日本 F3 出てますけど、今その走ってる F3 と、日本で走ってる F3 と、まあどこが一番大きく違うかということを聞きたいと言ってるんですけど。
日本の F3、ダラーラの F3 と比べると、とにかくハンドルが重くて、運転すること自体がすごく大変だという、上手い下手よりも体力がまず必要だっていう印象が強いです。
Yeah, especially the steering wheel is very heavy with this Asian F3. So compared to Japanese F3, so the most difficult part is the steering wheel is very heavy for him.
Thank you very much. We'll do a group photo.